Evening all. Well, it's been a crazy week. Lots of things are happening, so I think best not to waste time, just jump straight in. So first of all, I'm going to talk about Karl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad's campaign to become a member of the European Parliament for UKIP. And the mainstream media have really stepped up the campaign of smears and out-and-out lies. Now, as I stated last week and also on Twitter, I've declared war basically on dishonesty in public discourse, because I just think Jordan Peterson's rule number 8, tell the truth or at least don't lie, is paramount right now. Because when you see somebody that I don't know Sargon. We had one very brief chat when we did Academic Agents live stream on democracy. We basically, we just dialogued for a few minutes and agreed with each other on a few points. But beyond that, I've been following his channel for 4 years, been hearing what he says. I've consumed most of his content, and also I know people who know him quite a lot better than me, and from what I know about the man, and from what I'm seeing in the media and on Twitter from people who oppose him, you can see the lies. They're obvious lies. The fact he defends paedophilia. No, he didn't, and there's proof. He says rape jokes are okay. He didn't say it was a non-rape joke. But what's depressing about this whole thing is that not only are the mainstream media just putting out these smears, it's just that people on Twitter, more normie types, they don't want to know the truth. They say, oh, he's a absolutely despicable, deplorable person, and he should not hold any kind of office. But then when you challenge them, you say, well, these things that you said he said and done, that's not the case at all. The mainstream media have stripped away all the contents, have cherry-picked. They've tried to present him in the worst possible light. And believe me, as somebody who has consumed a lot of his work and listened a lot to what he says, it's not like that at all. Please do go and do some more research. And the responses have been very depressing. There's one conservative activist who I've been following for a couple of years on Twitter called Nara Hodge. And she basically did the virtue signalling. He's so deplorable, he's so despicable, he shouldn't hold public office. And I said, you don't know enough about him. You should go and look at his work before passing judgment. You're just following the mainstream media line. And she said, and I quote, I've seen enough. I don't need to see any more. She says, shut her mind down. And I've unfollowed her on Twitter. She's actually blocked me. I haven't said anything rude or abusive. I just said she was being closed-minded and that she should go and look at more of his work to get a better sense of who he is, what he believes, what he stands for. And she would probably end up agreeing with a lot of what he does. But no, her virtue signalling, and I think it's a kind of pandering to the progressive left. I think she's on the wet conservative side, the type that's begging the progressive left to love them, and they'll never get a reward. And she's fallen for it. Now, I think it's absolutely important, if you're watching this, please, whatever your political stripe, please dedicate yourself to telling the truth, or at least not lying. That doesn't mean you can say something and perhaps have your facts wrong, but if you're confronted with the facts, please do retract and modify what you're saying to accommodate the new facts. You've got to be honest. Reject smearing. And if you see it, call it out. Now, this comes from my background. I think I've mentioned it in a video before, but my background, I didn't come from the skeptic community. I didn't come from the atheist community online. I didn't come to the liberalist position through the route that a lot of other people took. I ended up here because I started debunking conspiracy theorists. And what I do in debates, when I'm challenging people, is that I know there are hardcore ideologues. Believe me, this week, if you've been following me on Twitter, you know what kind of hardcore lunatic fanatics I've been dealing with when it comes to telling the truth. But the thing is, you're not going to budge the ideologue, right? And people like Tim Rigby, I mean, if you're following me on Twitter, you know who Tim Rigby was, just a really creepy ideologue who's just not dedicated to the truth. And contrast him with Nara Hodge, who I felt I could try and reach and try and say, no, come on. Take a rational, nuanced look, a more informed look at things. I thought I was trying to reach her, but she blocked me. Whereas Tim Rigby is an ideologue. So when I'm debating likes of Tim Rigby, people like that, I'm not trying to win him over because I know I can't. But for people who are watching, the people who are looking on, if somebody gets up on a soapbox and just spouts lies and smears and falsehoods, and they're knowingly doing it, if no one's there to say, that's wrong, if you know that they're lying, it's your duty to say, no, you're lying, because truth's got to win out. And that's why I just implore people, if you see lies, I mean, this is the other thing that I'm going to link on to, which is John Rhys-Davies on Question Time. Now, here's the fact. John Rhys-Davies, the popular actor, I've been watching him since the days of I, Claudius, but he's a very good actor, and he was on Question Time, and there was an incident where he got angry because he was sitting next to the Green Member of Parliament, Caroline Lucas, who said something that was very disingenuous. She was saying that Donald Trump didn't have legitimacy as president because he lost the popular vote. And Jonathan Rhys-Davies got angry, and he slapped his hands, open palm, slapped them onto the desk and told her off, and was lost in the noise and her attempts to overtalk him was that he was trying to explain how the American political system worked. He's remarkably well informed, I found out. My admiration for him was quite high before. It's gone even higher now. The man was in the James Bond film. Okay, so he knew she was being disingenuous, and he slapped his hands and yelled at her. It was very theatrical, possibly something I wouldn't normally have done. But nevertheless, that's the facts of the case. He slapped his hands, he raised his voice, he told her off using facts, right? He used information and evidence, and she grinned and smirked when he did that. So the liars on the progressive left said that he slammed his fists onto the desk, which he didn't. It was flat open palm like that. He didn't pound his fists. And that odious creep Femi started saying, I felt that Caroline Lucas was intimidated. I felt for her. She was being intimidated and threatened with violence. Okay? Nothing of the sort. She smiled throughout. She doesn't need Femi, and she doesn't need Tim Rigby and all those people defending her honour. She had the situation under control. I'm not agreeing with Caroline Lucas because she was being dishonest when she made the point about the popular vote, because, the popular vote counts in the American elections. But when it comes to a referendum result in the United Kingdom, then the popular vote doesn't count. So she was being dishonest. But at the same time, she's a capable woman in her own right, okay? And she, if nothing else, knows how to handle the media, handle confrontation, handle people who disagree with her in public. She's a very cultivated politician. So she was never in any danger or any threat from John Rhys-Davies. So, cut the bullshit. If you see the nonsense out there, call it out. So Anne Widdecombe's joined the Brexit Party. See, I find this fascinating because for years the criticism levelled at Nigel Farage was that he made UKIP all about himself, which is why they had all these succession problems, who could possibly follow in his footsteps. He made the party completely round himself. He was the main spokesman. He was everywhere. He was the face of the party. He was the soul of the party for many years. Now with the Brexit Party, he is getting in some big names. And to get Anne Widdecombe out of the wilderness, back out of political retirement, so to speak, in order to get her running in the European parliamentary elections. I think it's a major coup. In the past, he did have another high-profile UKIP member in Robert Kilroy-Silk, but I think Kilroy went mad and then went off and did his own Veritas thing, which failed spectacularly. But this is very good optics for the Brexit Party and Farage. And the results are being shown in the polls. What is really depressing, though, about the whole situation is that Widdecombe has been disavowed by the Conservative Party. Now, she went in and tendered her resignation. She's put in 55 years of service with the Conservative Party. She put in her resignation, but now the party central office has banned her for life, effectively. They've just essentially chucked her out. Although they're going to leave the door open for Heidi Allen and Anna Soubry to return. Now, Widdecombe has been a controversial character. I mean, a lot of people in the progressive left, LGBTQ, blah, 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 movement have slammed her for her opinions on LGBTQ-ism. But there's no doubt about it. She has always had quite a significant public following. You know, people liked her bluntness, her forthrightness, her frankness. What you see is what you get with Anne Widdecombe. And, you know, she's back and people like it. And hats off to the Brexit Party. Have a look at my list. What else is to cover this week? Yes, the Edelweiss outrage. So at a White House function, they play the song Edelweiss, you know, in front of Trump. And the left get outraged. You know, the mainstream media and the Twitter left, they're just angry because it's a Nazi song. Apparently. Now, the history of Edelweiss, it was written for The Sound of Music by Rodgers and Hammerstein. It's not a traditional Austrian folk song at all. Not a real one. It wasn't around in 1940. It was written in the late 1950s or early 1960s, but it was written for The Sound of Music to try and sound like an Austrian folk song. And the reason why it's in the film is that the whole, I said it was written for The Sound of Music by Rodgers and Hammerstein, and one of these lefties tweeted back to me, you don't even know what the film is about. Yes, I do know what the film is about. Okay? The film is about a family that is brought together through a love of music in the face of tyranny. And what was unbelievable about this is that in the film, Christopher Plummer sings a song, and he's like this vehement anti-Nazi character in the film. And he sings the song as a kind of appeal to traditional Austrian values that are painted at complete odds with the Nazis. You know, so it's an anti-Nazi protest song written specifically for the film The Sound of Music. But here's where it gets better. I don't normally swear, but I'm going to say fucking millennials. They say no. It's not associated with The Sound of Music. It's associated with the man in the high castle. That's what the song is famous for, being the theme of the man in the high castle, and not The Sound of Music. I mean, fucking millennials. It's true, academic agent, it is entirely true. Millennials know nothing about what happened before they were born. They know nothing, and they need to watch The Sound of Music. Go down to the Prince Charles Theatre and go to the sing-along of Sound of Music evening there. Educate yourself. Unbelievable man in the high castle thing. It's a fake universe. It's like an alternative dimension, for goodness sake. Oh, anyway, on to a more serious topic. Gluing your tits onto a pavement. You see, Jonathan Rhys-Davies is unhinged because he slaps a desk. But gluing your tits to a pavement is acceptable and normal and passionate. People are passionate. They're so passionate about saving the world, they're gluing their tits to a pavement with Sticko Extra. I can't, I was going to do more, but I lost my composure. It's just so dumb. Okay, so female James Bond being reported in the Telegraph, the Daily Telegraph. Should not touch that story with a barge pole. They've caved into the left. Police face scanning. The police put out this thing on social media. Would you mind having your face scanned to see if you're a criminal? No, just stop. Okay. Oh, unbelievable. Sir Roger Scruton. So we now know that George Eaton is a disgusting liar. Will the Conservative Party reinstate Sir Roger Scruton? No. Okay, just no. What to do about it? We need a coup d'etat in the Conservative Party, or we need an alternative to the Conservative Party. Okay, get your thinking caps on, everybody. We need an alternative. Okay, new Conservatives, I don't know. Traditional continuity Conservative, call them what you will. We need something. We need a home for the mainstream right. There's no home at the moment, so we've got to create one. Whatever means necessary. Okay. And finally, a lot of the Twitter left, it's been a great week for me because my list of followers has gone up. I went up about 20 followers. Actually, no, it's actually more like 30 followers. Sorry, Edelweiss thing. So I've gone up 30 followers, and thank you. And people have been really supportive. When I've gone up against some right nutters and creeps on social media lately, and a lot of you guys have been coming in, helping me, encouraging me, giving me a lot of support and backup. I really appreciate it, guys. Absolutely, 100% appreciate it. I mean, my subscribers have gone up. I had 78 subscribers about 6 months ago. I'm now up to 395. Please get me 5 more to get to. I haven't gone insane. I had to have a drink just to calm down, and it went down the wrong way. So I'm sorry if I'm coughing, but no, I really appreciate the support. Get me 5 more subscribers on YouTube. Just hit that 400 level. Make my sons really happy. But anyway, what did the left attack me with? Ideas? Do they expose the fallacy of my thinking? Do they poke holes in my arguments? No. They tell me you look like Christopher Biggins. I've had that since my early 20s, okay? It wasn't good for my dating life back in my 20s either, to be compared to him. I'm not knocking Christopher Biggins, because I know people who've worked with him on films, and apparently he's a real good professional actor, good, decent bloke, but I'm not him. Nor am I Harold from Neighbours. That's the other one I get compared to. And I don't care about the physical aspects. I don't care anymore. I'm married. I've got 2 kids. I lead a good life. So you mock me for, greying, thinning hair, a bit rubbery cheeked, I mean, as a young man, I look like Sharon from EastEnders. I mean, go figure. But, so insult me over my appearance all you like. Doesn't matter. I really don't care. But no. Sorry, I'm just thinking about Edelweiss and gluing your tits to a pavement. And on that note, that really does take the biscuit.